keep going.
Or you could squeeze it onto a finger if it's a sandwich just for you to tell the weight. Whatever's gonna work for you. But I can detect the weight through the tortilla, so that's the way that I just did it. And again, determining, is this something that I can hold in my hand as I spread it? This is a little bigger than my hand. It's funny that it still actually kind of fits because my fingers are that long, but a little bigger than I want. So I'll do this flat on the cutting board. You could do it either way. You could hold it in a big old plate, and then determining your approach. So I've squirted the mustard in the middle, so I'm gonna work from the middle and go outwards. So I'm gonna do that all the way around. So I'll go from, say, the middle. If we're using the clock face again, I'll go from middle to 12, from the middle to the 3 area, from the middle, and then cover the area from 3 to 6, then cover the area from 6 to 9, and then the area from 9 to 12. You could also start at the top and work from left to right of the edges and slowly work your way down in that kind of pattern. So you're covering it that way. Or you could do the same thing up and down, starting on the left, moving your spreader up and down and slightly over to the right with each pass. Whichever method feels most comfortable. You could even completely do one side. So start at 12 o'clock, using the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock as your halfway marks, and cover this whole side between 12 and 6 on the right side for me, and then come back and do the left side. There are many approaches, but the important part is to have an approach, so that way you know you've systematically covered every area. So I'm gonna start in the middle. I'm gonna find where my mustard is and start working my way out towards the edges, feeling for that nice smoothness as you're gliding. And I'm gonna rotate my tortilla as I do it. Coming out towards the edge, I'm using my hand to be my barrier so I don't spread over. But this is a great instance of working over a cutting board or working over a tray, so even if you do spread over, it's no big deal. So as I get here, I'm noticing that it's getting, the drag is starting to increase. That gives me an indicator I don't have as much. So what I'm doing is reaching back into the areas I've already covered and bringing some from there, because I might want a nice thin coat. So by reaching into areas I've covered, I can easily determine if I've gotten too much there or if I just need to get more. So I'm coming to the conclusion that I have a good thin coat of the areas I've already covered, and I need more, using my spreader to gauge about how much I have less. If I had to gauge that, I would say maybe about a quarter of the way, so I won't squeeze as hard, I won't squeeze as many times. And open up my mustard. I kept my spreader, the tip of it, in the area that needs some mustard, so I'll just bring it right into that area and get a little squirt. Again, check and make sure mustard actually came out, which it did. That's great. And then use that same technique to now cover this area. And okay, so now I'm just kind of running my spreader in that left to right motion that I showed you. Again, let's make sure everything is nice and evenly coated. And there you have it. And so if you spread it some over, or I have a little bit of mustard on my hand, another thing that I always recommend is having some kind of dishcloth or washcloth nearby that you can wipe your hands. You can do quick wipe downs of the tray. If I had mustard on the container, I could quickly wipe that down. And I always keep this in my pocket. If I'm wearing pants with a pocket, you could keep it in an apron, maybe keep it all the way to the left of your workstation in a place that you'll remember, so it's always handy. And that's it.